Before I was sentenced, so the trial's over. I'm acquitted of the top count, found guilty of a lesser count. We're going to appeal. I might get probation. I might not. I might get jail time. We don't know at this point. A friend of mine, hanging out with him, he says to me, he says, "You're pretty lucky." Okay, what do you mean? Well, he says, two things. One, you got up on the stand. You took the stand and defended yourself. Listen, I could say I can do that, but you did it. I don't know if I can, but you did it. So, and the second thing is, through a process like this, you find out who's with you, who's against you, who disappears, who sticks around. And he was right. I mean, that's true. When this stuff kind of hits the fan, you realize the type of friends you have, and even more so family. When I went first indicted, I had some relatives who just, "You gone? That's it. Don't talk to me. I don't want to." They were afraid if they had a conversation with me on the phone, the DA was going to go and pick them up or something. I don't know, but and that's not really wasn't the case. Some people it was the case, but the truth is, hang on one second. Sorry about that. The dog was playing with a rock. So, people kind of either with you or against you. I mean, or like I said, disappear. I had my wife, my parents. This is not normal. This is not normal because we went through 2 years from, the search warrant at the office to indictment to trial and all sorts of motions, court appearances. And I said, listen, it's not normal, but for us now, it's going to be the norm. It's normal. This is what we have to do. We got to get through. We got to stop focusing on it's not normal. Just let's go. Let's fight. Let's figure it out. And it was hard. It was hard on everybody. Forget me. I mean, just wife, kids, parents. It was really, really tough on them. But again, some people 100% there for you. The day of my sentencing, at that point, I had a feeling I was going in, but we didn't know. I could have went home. I could have been locked up. You didn't know. And, a good friend of mine, he drove my wife and kids into the courthouse. And he was there, and we talked about it. Listen, whatever happens, you go home, you get in the car with us. You don't go home, I got him. Don't worry about it. That night, I had some cousins came over to the house. I'm sitting in the Tombs in Manhattan in a cell, wondering what the fuck is going to happen next. And, my wife and kids are home and in shock and everything else. And listen, a couple of cousins, food, vodka, everybody come over. And, I guess to some degree it was like my wake, but whatever. It was for them. It was to support them. And, even when I was away, people sent letters. I had a friend of my sister's. I didn't really know her. I mean, I knew her for a long time, but, well, not like we were that friendly, whatever. She was friends with my wife and sister. She would send letters, tell me about her kids, send a book, stuff like that. There's other people who you think, well, I had another sister who, listen, this is my sister. She didn't want to go to court. She never sent me a letter. She didn't really want to have anything to do with it, which is okay. I mean, that's her prerogative and whatever, and I don't judge anybody for that. I mean, everybody, it's like when somebody dies, you don't know what to say. You don't know how to comfort somebody. And some people are like that. I mean, again, I was very fortunate that certain people were there for me. I mean, I had the day I got sentenced. So you go into I was sentenced around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And you go through this whole process, and you're in Manhattan, so they bring you to the Manhattan Detention Center, I guess it's called, but it's known as the Tombs. It's one of the oldest jails in the country. But you're not in an old part; it's all modernized. Anyway, you go through this whole process. They ask you questions. Basically, they move you from holding cell to holding cell, and in the process, I didn't notice. And listen, my lawyers combined got 60 years experience, and they didn't tell me this, but I'm wearing a blue suit with a light blue shirt. So after sentencing, they take my tie and my jacket. But as I'm going through this process, somebody says to me, "Listen, you're not allowed to wear blue. The officers wear blue. You can come in your street clothes, but you can't have blue." So, okay, what am I supposed to do? He says to me, "Well, listen, I'll give you the phone. You can make a phone call, see if somebody can bring you something within the next hour and a half. Otherwise, you see that pile over there?" And it was a pile, of like, blah, clothing. I don't even know what it was over there. He's like, "You got to find something in there to put it on." I was like, "Get the fuck out of here." So I went, gives me the phone. I called my cousin. I says, "Listen, I got to get some clothing here, sweatpants, anything, just as long as it's not blue." So he says, "All right, my sister's works." My cousin worked downtown in the city. My sister's at work. I'll call her. She'll bring you something. So, okay. So I'm sitting around and waiting. All of a sudden, "Oh, listen, you got a visitor." Visiting the tomb is a little weird. You go down in this like basement thing. I don't even know, because you never see outside. So you're in elevators, stairwells. You get in one of those, just like on TV, a little booth with glass, and you sit there. And then my cousin walks in, and she has a smile on her face. She goes, "How you doing? You all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm hanging in there. It's okay." She goes, "All right, so I just want to let you know, I could have dropped it off, but I figured I'd say hello. I got you some sweatpants and some sweatshirts and some underwear and socks. It's all gray and white." "Great, thank you so much," and all. And, "All right, listen, anything you need, you call us. We're here for you." So, "Thank you very much," leaves. I found out months later. Now, she lived in Astoria, and she used to take the bus every day into the city. She worked down by Wall Street, and she'd basically get her kids ready, whatever, but she'd do her makeup on the bus. And she had a little makeup bag, but she had about $300-400 worth of makeup in there. And that day, so she gets out of work, she runs over to, I think it was Century 21, gets me this clothing. She goes over to the jail, and you got to go through the process. They search you, they go through your stuff. She says, "I want to just say hello to him. I'm not just dropping off." I said, "Fine, you can come in, but you can't. Can somebody hold me?" "No." "Makeup, you take your pocketbook, but you can't take the makeup." "What do I do with it?" "Throw it away or go home." Threw it away. I didn't know this. This was, not a lot of people do that for you. Take $300-400, just throw it in a garbage can just so that she can come in for literally a minute and a half to see how I was. So, it's nice. It was, like I said, I was very fortunate to have people like that, in my corner, support me. It wasn't being about being judged. It wasn't being about what you did, what you didn't do. It was about, listen, you're with us, you're my cousin, your family, you're going to be there for me if I need you, and I'm here for you if you need me. And that was big. So I don't dwell on, the handful of people that weren't there. No, because I dwell on and really am blessed to have the people that were there. Because there's a lot of people, when you get upstate, they don't have anybody. They burnt every bridge they had. Literally nobody to call them, nobody to say, "How you doing?" Nobody to send them whatever. So, anyway, that's enough of that. But, all right, I'll see you later.